Welcome to the Perfect Nails tutorial on product ratios. Today I'm using the competition formula acrylic liquid and also the competition formula powder. I'm using one of the Cover Pink powders just so you can see the colour, you can see what I'm actually doing. I'm also using the number 8 brush from Beautyworld. A lot of people ask for advice on what brush they should use, what is the best brush. The answer as always is the brush that's designed for the acrylic system that you're using. Always the best brush. It's designed to work with the liquid and powder and help with your ratios. So the very first step is always to make sure your brush is submerged in liquid and you remove any air bubbles. The next thing that we're going to do is wipe our brush. I always wipe my brush from the base to the tip. The side that I've left the product in is the side that I then use to pick up my powder. Now, to get a small, medium or large bead depends on how much liquid remains in your brush. So if we're picking up a small bead, we want a small amount of liquid, and for a large bead we want a large amount of liquid. So the best way to do this and to gauge how much liquid's in your brush, for a small bead we're going to start at the base, swipe all of the liquid out, hold on our powder for 1, 2, 3, and that gives us a small bead. Picking up a medium bead is the same method, but we're actually going to stop halfway down the brush in our powder for 1, 2, 3. We've got a medium bead. A large bead, exactly the same method. We want as much liquid in the brush as possible, but we don't want it dripping, so I do just like to tap the liquid off the end and in the powder for 1, 2, 3. And that's our large bead. You can see the beads are keeping their shape. They're not losing their shape at all, so they're not going to run on your nail. You're not going to have to chase them around the nail. They're going to remain where you put them and where you move them to. There's also no white powder around the beads, so the liquid has absorbed all of the powder, and that's the correct ratio. The other tip is not to drag your brush through the liquid. Not to do this. Don't rush your powder. You can see you'll generally end up with quite a dry bead. You can also end up with air bubbles in your bead. So just sitting on top of the powder and let the powder come to you. There's a close-up. I'll try and get a close-up. And that's what your bead should look like.